Hey guys, it's me, the dude who talks, and welcome to today's video. So for today, I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Fight the Tornado called Maelstrom of Thought, which came out on the 26th of June and is self-released. So who are Fight the Tornado, you might ask? Well, essentially they are a two-piece progressive metal project featuring guitarist and vocalist Johnny Young and the main vocalist Lindsay North, and also according to the press release, serves as the sanity maintenance. So both members of Fight the Tornado were former members of symphonic metal band Curse of Dawn, and the idea of Fight the Tornado, in their words, was the aim of putting a sound to certain traits of thoughts which are often hard to explain. So, their EP, Maelstrom of Thought, what did I think about it? Did I like it, or did I hate it that much that I wanted the proverbial tornado to win the fight? Let us find out. So the first track of the EP, which is called Mercurial Inventions, starts off to a very promising start with a synth intro that has this cool 80s sci-fi feel and has a bit of a Vangelis feel to it. And then the opening riff kicks in, and this does a really good job of telling me what they're about. So the riff is that standard, genty, syncopated riff, which, I'm on board with. Though, as the song progresses, there is more technique and it shows some serious talent, especially at the end of the song where the riff breaks down at the end. Anyway, let's talk about the vocals just for a little bit. Both do clean vocals, with Lindsay being the main vocalist, as I mentioned before, and also Johnny does clean vocals as well. And what I've noticed about this is how well they harmonise their vocals together, especially towards the chorus, which makes the songs stand out. The EP does a really good job of balancing both electronic moments and guitar work, and I never felt that either of these elements overtook each other. Though while the instrumental parts are worth noting, it is the choruses that really do it. I think they really inject some nice hooks into the songs, and they will get stuck in your head like me, especially the second track chorus for Comfort Zone that was stuck in my head for quite a while. So I may not be describing something that is outright heavy. There's quite a lot of catchy melodies, and though there are moments which they really do heavy, like especially at the start of Sensory Deprivation, which lets rip with a really meaty riff that could fit in on like a Slipknot album. And for me, it is quite headbang worthy. So yeah, they definitely know how to get heavy. Though it's the next song that really does it for me in terms of heaviness, as the instrumental track Maelstrom of Thought, which has that kind of heavy Dream Theater vibe to it at the start, though it is the second half of the song that really kicks things up a notch, with this kind of deceiving upbeat riff, and then has these moments of sheer chaos interspersed between that kind of made me think of something like Devin Townsend had something to do with it, like Strapping Young Lad, or more recently the solo album Empath. And speaking of that, I think the last song, The Stone, definitely had some Empath influence into it. So I've been saying that there's like a Dream Theater influence on this, and whether the guys will agree with me or not, I definitely think there is a Dream Theater influence. And I believe this is more apparent in the song Atlas. Definitely one of the more slower songs, and I do feel it's has that vibe that could be in on the album Images and Words or Awake. Well, definitely there is vocals on this, and they definitely take charge. Also got to mention that Holly and Matthew from Disconnected Souls guests on this as well, contributing vocals. There's definitely that electronic moment where the keyboards take charge, and there's a really decent solo. So I definitely think there's a Dream Theater vibe on that. I said Dream Theater too many times. Anyway, moving on. I also want to mention the positive notes on the EP, especially with the lyrics, as it deals with subject matters where they're dealing with exploring hope and acceptance, and it definitely feels really uplifting, especially on the song Atlas, with the lyrics with alleviate the burdens from your mind, you don't have to carry the weight of the world this time. And in a shitty time like this, I think there definitely needs to be more positivity like this in metal and rock. I have been mentioning a little bit about the clean vocals, and you may have not noticed me talking about the harsh vocals. and that's because I didn't particularly care for them. While they weren't too bad, like I've really heard some awful vocals, especially when I'm doing research for the Bandcamp Discovery videos, which I'll be doing another one at some point soon, hopefully. I did feel that they were a little bit too raspy and not piercing enough and didn't have that deep throaty scream that I liked. But that is just my opinion. And I also feel like they didn't really need it in this EP, and that's weird coming from a dude who really likes harsh vocals. Also, and this is a very minor criticism, is that at some points I did feel that the vocals really just overtook everything on the EP, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's just terms of mixing, like especially I felt like some of the instrumentals like really took a backseat, and all you could hear sometimes was just the vocals. But I think that's just a recording issue, and like I say, it's just only a minor issue. I mentioned earlier that a couple of members of Disconnected Souls feature on this EP. You may or may not be aware that I actually reviewed that EP called Warring Elements a few months ago, and I found myself having the same thoughts about that EP as with this one. I think they definitely have a lot of potential in terms of songwriting and musicianship, and I think they definitely show a high level of confidence with their music, and I think they can definitely go big, and I think they can definitely draw a big crowd with that big sound of theirs. Apart from a couple of issues that I mentioned in what I didn't like about it, I think it's actually a really strong EP. So yeah. And that was me talking about Maelstrom of Thought by Fight the Tornado. Have you considered picking this EP up? Please let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments section. Like always, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It really helps out. Hopefully be getting another video out to you next week, so hopefully you'll want to stick around for that. All I've got left to say to you guys is, I've been the dude who talks. You guys are fucking awesome, and I'll see you soon.